Yo, hey guys, Weeks here, back with another video. This is going to be another class guide. This one is going to be for the Gladiator. So the Gladiator is unlocked by doing the arena in the Pyramid of Prophecy campaign for the first time. And let's get into his abilities. So his first one is going to be Trident. It's a melee attack that deals damage, physical damage. You can attack without cooldown by expending stacks of Trident. Stacks recharge over 0.5 seconds, maximum 15 stacks. Okay, so what this means is you can attack normally with just your left click, or you can expend a stack of Trident by hitting the left click again while it's on cooldown to do it, to bypass the cooldown. So as you can see, it just spammed a bunch of attacks and we lose our little stacks. Anyways, that's his first ability. His second one is a crippling net. Throw a net that disarms and slows enemies by 80% for 3 seconds. Charging the net increases the range thrown. Enemies take 100% more damage when netted. Okay, so this is like a damage boost and it also disarms. So this is at max range, but you can also do it up close. So you can, I'll kind of show the damage. So this is a normal attack, 122. If I throw the net and attack, 243. So that's that 100% increased damage. You get a lot of extra damage by being able to net enemies. And then we also have Spinning Gladius. This is a skill that does damage. You throw a Gladius forward in a direction that starts spinning in place for 3 seconds. On impact, deals 32 magic damage per second. Okay, and here's the Gladius. So you throw it and throws 3 blades at this current rank. And it kind of throws them randomly. Doesn't always throw them in the same position. Kind of do a couple. But anyway, they spin and they deal damage. And then lastly, he has this ability, Pit Fighters. Call upon a group of Pit Fighters to fight for your side for 15 seconds. The Pit Fighters have 400 health, 10 armor, and 10 resist. They attack with short swords, dealing 20 physical damage. Alright, so here we summon them. And as you can see, the little Pit Fighters go attack the target. They just have normal minion AI. Alright, and let's go look at the passive skills. So we'll go up here. Our passive skills are Planned Attack, guaranteed critical hit when expending a stack of Trident. So we talked about earlier, expending a stack of Trident is when you use your primary off cooldown. You use the stack of this Trident here, and this will make it to actually crit. So that's kind of cool. So you get guaranteed crits when you bypass the cooldown. Then next you have Riposte. Blocks 20% of one damage instance within 0.2 seconds after attacking with Trident, which is using your primary, is called Trident. And then let's see, so you block 1 damage instance within 0.2 seconds after attacking with Trident. Blocking with Riposte replenishes a stack of Trident. So at max rank, you block 80% of 1 damage instance per 0.2 seconds after attacking with Trident. And then if the block happens, you replenish a stack of Trident. So it's pretty interesting how that works. You can like block and continue to use your primary off cooldown. And then last we have Strength in Numbers, increases the amount of Pit Fighters and Spinning Gladius by 1, and this increases them by 2. So as far as ranking up this character, your big thing is really your primary, your Trident, is going to be played as a primary character. So you want to increase the base damage, 14, 16, 18. Even if you have these tiers unlocked, I would still suggest getting Trident first, followed by Planned Attack, and then Riposte. So you have those 3. After that, you can kind of mix and match as you feel. I went ahead and got 1 point of Spinning Gladius just for extra damage on bosses. Because if I'm just attacking with the Trident and bypassing, then I'm not really using any of my mana. Crippling Net doesn't work. So I'll just activate a Gladius. The same kind of thing with the Pit Fighters. I'll just activate it on a boss to let them attack and do free damage. And then after that, I started leveling up Crippling Net to get the extra damage, because I started feeling my damage kind of fall off, so started grabbing that. And then Strength in Numbers, just increase your Pit Fighters and Spinning Gladius. So just get these when you can. They're not really like a big deal because we're not really relying on skill damage for this build. We're really relying on our primary, so these aren't super great, but this is a nice damage bonus. This is nice defensive bonus. These are just good to have for boss fights. This is just general good to have disarm, and this is your main damage. So that's what I would say. One other thing is, since this is a primary build, you really want to get Chapel 3, which requires Town 5. So once you unlock Town 5, you can get access to Chapel 3. You can play this build without having it. You may have to get the Bloodthirst ring from the shop which will require Town 4 to be able to get rares from the shop. But anyway, talking about the rest of the chapel, you want defense. You're a melee character, you're going to be in the thick of it all. Even if you're disarming all enemies and killing stuff with crits, you definitely don't want to take more damage than you have to. So I'd go Path of Defender. After that, I went Blessing of Mind. I just want to be able to use these nets on cooldown basically, and be able to use this stuff when I need it. So Blessing of Mind. You could maybe switch this here, but you really don't have a lot of good options. The health regen is going to be so minuscule. Magic damage could be okay once you start using Incendiary Demise, but I just go with the tried and true Blessing of Mind, and that is fine. But tier 3 is really what you want, and that's going to be the Symbol of Essence. So you're going to get the 2.5% lifesteal on primary attack. It's going to scale up with your crits and just keep you topped off. That's going to be really helpful in just surviving long fights. Alright, next we have the drinks. So when I'm just doing like runs early in the game, this is going to be kind of geared towards NG0, NG1. I have an NG2 guide up there if you want to watch that. That has with, you know, the rare drinks and all. But early on, you're only going to have common drinks. So I would actually suggest going like Miner's Delight and Fool's Errand to get the extra ore gain. So you get 100% gold gain for the Fool's Errand, but you lose your health regen. That's okay, because we're going to be using lifesteal. And then we're going to use Miner's Delight. So we're going to gain 100% ore gain. We're going to lose 75% of that gold gain that we just got. I'm also going to take on the run. We're going to lose the last 25% of that gold gain, but we're going to gain some movement speed. And then I'm going to take Lazy Stroll, which is going to give me that XP, and we're going to lose that movement speed. Lastly, you can either take Smelly Old Man for the base regen or Crazy Eye for the extra crit. I kind of like going with the Crazy Eye, because even if you get 100% crit when you're using your tridents, you still have a chance to get double crit and triple crit and quad crit and so on and so forth. So it's still nice to have crit even if you feel like, you know, you have 100% crit, because you can instead get multiple crits, and that's really important on the Gladiator. So basically you're always going to be critting for your stacks of trident, but you also have a chance to get a double crit, which is just going to be that much more damage. So at worst, you can go Smelly Old Man with Crazy Eye, but if you're looking for ore or XP, then I would take the other 4 drinks and then pick either Smelly Old Man or Crazy Eye. So that's the drinks and everything for items. Like I said, if you don't have Chapel 3, you want to roll the shop for the Bloodthirst Ring. See if we can find it real quick. So Bloodthirst Ring is just good because it's the same thing as Chapel 3. It just gives you the 2.5 primary leech as life. See if we can find it. Otherwise, you can take either Amulet of Kings for like a defensive option, or you can go Sword of Kings for an offensive option. But you definitely have to have that leech solved. If you don't have the leech, then you're basically just gonna have a bad time. So here's the Bloodthirst Ring. So there it is in case you want to roll for it. Again, you need Town 4 to be able to get a rare item in the shop. So Bloodthirst Ring, 2.5 lifesteal on primary attack. And we'll show some other items that are good for the build if you don't have that, or if you have the anvil unlocked or something. So Amulet of Kings for defense, like I was saying. Heartseeker is also good for offense for the extra crit, because you can get triple crits or double crits. And when you attune it, you can get quad crits and so on. Sword of Kings is okay. I mean, it's just nice, like raw attack power. But I think crits are gonna help you a little more. Again, Assassin's Dagger for crits. You can go Bracers of Quickness for attack speed, but often you are skipping your normal attack speed by using Trident to just go further, or to go faster. Then you have Elven Bow, which is also attack power. A lot of good stuff for the Gladiator, honestly. If you don't have mana to support the nets, or you just want to be even safer, you can pick up the Gladiator's nets, which has a chance to disarm, or the Blackjack. And I mean, there's also Defender's Halberd, but you have to get hit first. But honestly, you should just be kind of spamming your left and right click all the time. So you're going to be hitting, but you're also going to be disarming. And the disarming will also increase your damage. Alright, and for the fountain on the Gladiator, we're going to use the main fountain setup that we use for all the other characters. So we're going to use Gentle Traps to take less damage. Topple Towers, melee can really get like punished by towers. If they go close when the tower does their AoE, get hit by multiple projectiles at once and it'll just kill your character. Safe corridors, kind of the same thing as general traps, just less trap and trap damage in general. Expeditious Expedition, just to make the run go faster. Lucky Day, to try to get more crits, double crits, and so on. Plentiful Gifts, when we find the imps, at least early in the game, they can give you ore, gold, and XP. That's all going to be good for helping build up our town. Mysterious Guidance just gives us a bunch of temporary buffs that are really powerful, especially for melee characters. Glass Walks lets us get access to treasure chests we normally couldn't get to, and Treasure Hunt spawns additional treasure chests that we normally couldn't have. And to balance this out, we use lots of consumables, which is fine because we're using leech instead of consumables to sustain. Enemy reinforcements, more enemies is more XP. We're also going to do enemy overseers, just more mini bosses. Mini bosses can drop items and keys, so you definitely want more of those. Agile adversaries, so this increases the movement speed of enemies but doesn't increase their attack speed or cast speed. We're really not worried about that because the faster the enemies come at us, the faster we can kill them. And also with our net, we can disarm them, so they're really not gonna do anything to us. Minor Strike, this one you can disable if you're going for ore runs or think you're gonna die. But basically we use this if we feel like we're going to kill Thundersnow, because we can just bring everything to town by killing him instead of having to deposit. And lastly, we use Dry Springs. Again, we don't use potions or HP pickups, so we're not too worried about that to sustain our health. We're just sustaining off of Life Leech. So if you need to take off Minor Strike, you can go over here and maybe get rid of Imps or Lucky Day or Movement Speed. Those are probably the three you could mess around with. But really the Fountain is to mess around with as you see fit. There's really a lot of ways to do it, and this is just what I use. So a lot of nice things with the Gladiator. There's also like one other small thing you could do if you really wanted to, and you could bind your active skill, your mouse left and your mouse right to the same skill. So active skill 1 is my trident, active skill 2 is my net. I can actually put this also as a one skill. So now I'm just activating one skill and I'm casting the trident and the net. The only thing wrong with this is you'll basically need to change that when you play different characters, because not many characters want to do both these skills at the same time. But it's a nice little tip for the Gladiator anyway, and will definitely help you to not have to click as much with both fingers at the same time on both mouse buttons. Might save your fingers in the long run. But anyway, that's the overview of the Gladiator. Let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.